everybody, and welcome to the campus of Nashua High School South. We are moments away from a rematch of these two teams, North versus South girls varsity basketball, that we saw, well, it was just a week ago, wasn't it, Tom King?
Exactly. Time flies, doesn't it?
It does, and these two teams have struggled, there's no question about it, in the standings. In their schedule.
You know, North won their last game, so they've picked up that win, which they desperately needed for their second win of the year. Meanwhile, Nashua South has had to play back-to-back games against one of the better teams in the state in Pinkerton Academy. They're 2-3.
Yeah, they took a pair of losses there by almost identical scores. It was like something like 49-35.
Yeah, they were pretty identical.
Yeah.
I've seen Pinkerton play, and they're solid defensively, and they're a tough team. I saw them play Bishop Girton a few days ago. So it's a quick turnaround for these kids, John, because they just, got home through the snow last night, and now they're back out here today playing. But, I think the big thing that we want, that, both coaches are going to look to see is, okay, can we put the ball in the basket? That's the key, right?
19-16 was the final.
35 total points.
35 total points. An historical low, by the way, I would believe.
And they haven't had a game like that since. North scored 51 in a win on the road against Salem the other night.
That's impressive.
So that was
That broke a 4-game losing streak.
Right.
So
that
where was that team the other game we did here?
When I talked to Juliana Martin after the South game, I said,
the 19-16 game.
What do you attribute this low score to? Because she was basically the only one who could put the ball in the basket, down the stretch.
Yeah.
And she said it's the rivalry. She said they just go at it. I mean, look at how many times people hit the floor and struggled for the ball and wrestled for the ball, and it was.
If you went back and looked at the video,
it reminded me of some of the biddy games, not because of the level, but because of the intensity of some of those biddy girls games we used to do, where they would just tackle whoever had the basketball.
No, you're right. There was, I would say, as many players hit the floor as points were scored in that game. I'm talking 35 times somebody was hitting the floor.
No doubt about it.
Sometimes 2 or 3 girls on one play. So, yeah, that was a physical, low-scoring game. And it seemed like the misses of kind of easy shots was contagious throughout the game.
It just, I said to Kurt Dutilli, what happened? He says it just wasn't going to go in. And I think part of the, some of the attribution of that goes to the fact that these teams haven't played a lot.
Yeah.
They're just getting their feet wet right now. And John, the season starts in another week. Postseason starts in another week.
Yeah, we got a glimpse of all the pods and everything now.
The pairings are already out. The pods are out.
Yeah.
The whole bit. So, and these two teams could see each other again. You don't know.
So I guess the girls and boys pods are really the same, right? We have North, South, Bishop Girton.
North, South,
Alvern, and Keene.
Right, exactly.
So that'll be interesting. So basically, as one coach said, I think it was Marty Edwards of Alvern said to someone, these games are just basically scrimmages leading up to the playoffs.
Well, they are, but I mean, still, they're not played that way.
No, certainly not.
They're very intense and everything else. I just talked to Nate Mazerol, South basketball coach, the boys coach, for a story I'm doing. Looking ahead at the tournament and everything else, and. He said there's still, combinations we're looking for. We haven't played our best basketball. We're trying to fill out those combinations and try to work some things. But at the same time, they want to win games.
Tom,
nothing helps better than winning games.
We've missed you for the junior high school championship
for
game.
The Tri-County. See, that's
Tri-County.
That's separate from the city championship you and I used to do.
Oh, okay.
That was the Tri-County.
But we missed you. That was a good game. You would have loved it. And this guy over here, Nate Mazerol, he has got to be thrilled with the players that are in the pipeline for him coming up to the varsity level.
Well, always, You got
to temper it a little bit?
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, the journey,
I don't know. The basketball IQ.
The journeys take different ways.
They do. They do. You're right. It's not always a guarantee of varsity success from the junior high varsity level, but there were some players out there.
Okay, John, let me tell you a little photographer's issue here. I'm indoors. I got to deal with sunlight.
You do. There's actually a beautiful kind of like a sheen on the court due to the daylight here.
Right.
We're at midday. It's a 12:30
Exactly.
start. We are underway. 8-minute quarters in New Hampshire girls high school and boys basketball. And it's North shooting first off the glass and in. Well, that's a turnaround from the
sure is,
low-scoring game we had. The first shot goes in by Grace Carden, nicely using the glass straight down the middle in the paint. 2-0, North's ahead. And Aruka Obanello with 2 for South answers right back. So we have some scoring early in the first seconds of the opening quarter
South
here.
employing a full court pressure early to try to take North. They don't want North to get in any kind of rhythm.
Olivia Mazarol dishes it to Grace Carden. Around the perimeter it goes from Caitlin Lorendi inside. Good double step move off the glass and in. Olivia Mazarol making the most of that positioning underneath the basket. And everybody's hitting their shots so far. 4-2, North is in the lead.
All right, now, John, let's compare this. 4-2, North with the lead. Do you know what the score was at the end of the first quarter last Saturday?
Was it 4-2?
3-2.
3-2, okay. So we're off to a much better start, for sure. Underneath the basket, and in. South ties it up, it's 4-4.
Nice pass by Obanello.
And now North's having a little bit of difficulty coming out of their own end.
It's the pressure.
Caitlin Lorendi has it batted away, almost a steal, and that's going to be a time violation. A timeout's called by North. They knew they were going to get a violation, not getting it over half court in time.
But did they know that there would be this kind of full court pressure? That's what I'm wondering about, because you don't have a lot of practice time. That's the one thing both coaches have talked to me about, is they don't have time to practice against some of these situations that they're going through. So this is a much more fluid basketball game, but defense is going to rule the day at some point in this game. Both are strong inside. You know, the difference, I think, John, in the game is obviously going to be turnovers and getting someone hot from the outside. You know, someone has to hit from the outside, a couple key buckets like Martin did last week for South.
Olivia Mazarol takes the lead pass. She's got a 2-on-1, goes right to the glass. Victoria Conrad with the putback attempt. Loose ball is grabbed by Morgan Gillis, and we have a whistle. Apparently a travel by South, so North will get the ball back in the offensive end. Inbounding it for the Titans, Lillian Brooks finds Caitlin Lorendi on the wing, being bothered by Juliana Martin. Into the paint, Olivia Mazarol puts it up, no good. Victoria Conrad got a hand on it, but it goes right to Juliana Martin of South, and she hands it off to Ariana Murray with her first touch of the game. 4-4 with about 3 minutes gone, or just over 2 minutes gone, I should say, in the first quarter. There's a deep shot by Maya Ryu, misses to the left.
Those are the shots that need to go in for one or the other of these two teams, you know, to win the game. They've got to be able to hit the open outside shots. They weren't able to do that for the most part last week.
Grace Carden finds some space down the right sideline. Just tried to put her foot down and stick it, but her pivot foot dragged and she got called for the travel.
Good defense by Obanello. Obanello was very careful not to foul, and she just basically didn't give her enough room to maneuver.
And forced that turnover on the travel.
It's a zone defense with Conrad in the middle.
Ariana Murray gets shut down baseline, runs out of room, looking for a teammate to pass to. In rhythm from deep, Maya Ryu misses to the left. She's trying to get on track. Aruka Obanello with a big offensive rebound.
Yeah, normally, John, she'd go up with that ball, but with Conrad right there, she didn't think she had the opportunity to. And that's a plus for North in this game. That's the advantage they have. They'll take away Obanello's inside presence in terms of scoring if they can do that with Conrad on the floor. When Conrad's not on the floor, South ought to go right inside Obanello and try their best.
Grace and Maya, Carden and Ryu
you know what I would do if I were
midcourt.
South is I would run like crazy and get a big player like Conrad tired. You know, that's what I would do.
Grace Carden looking for a teammate to pass to. Right in their face is Morgan Gillis.
It's great defense right now by both teams.
Off the double team to Olivia Mazarol. North trying to find the open teammate. Caitlin Lorendi from downtown off to the right and rebound south. Morgan Gillis down court. That's actually Maya Ryu. In tight, Aruka Obanello, that tough matchup underneath of Victoria Conrad.
Look what it does, it causes the turnover.
And it's an over and back.
That's why if they're going to go down low to Obanello, they've got to do it with Conrad out of the game, and the best way to get her out of the game outside of foul trouble is get her tired. And I believe is it happening now? No, she's staying in.
No, she's in there. There's some substitutions on the south side, meanwhile. Elizabeth DeRusha checks into the game for South.
And that's why, because John Bourgeois realizes the inside game isn't going to work, and they've got to go outside.
Victoria Conrad battles a triple team for that ball, kicks it back outside. Grace Carden's three-point attempt doesn't go, and Aruka Obanello with another rebound. Ariana Murray to her right. Driving, Olivia Mazarol blocks her way. Aruka passes to Juliana Martin. It's on the wing. Up top, Aruka doesn't normally shoot from that deep, so she drives toward the basket and kicks it out to Elizabeth DeRusha, who does have good outside touch, but no space to work with. Obanello has it batted away.
See, they keep trying to do that. I don't know why, but they do.
Olivia Mazarol throws it up as she gets fouled. She was aware that she was drawing the contact, I think, and so that's in the act of shooting. And to the line will go Olivia with 3:33 remaining in the first quarter.
That matchup just isn't going to work down low.
Aruka trying to go over Victoria Conrad.
Aruka's quick, but the problem is she gets there's no room to maneuver down there, you know? Yeah. So that's the problem.
The math is not in her favor, Tom, when she tries to shoot it directly over Victoria Conrad.
And that's why I think what they need to do is move Aruka outside and also get the ball maybe to DeRusha to get some outside shots to open things up.
Aruka did a great job of boxing out right there. She almost lost her balance. She was backing up so much, and suddenly there was nobody there. Maya Ryu to her left. Looking for teammates moving without the ball. Maya gets shut down baseline by the double team. Aruka.
Aruka should put that up. There she goes. And there it is. Yep. She has the open shot. She should take it. And if she can do that, that's going to force a player like Conrad out. But Conrad is now out of the game. So
Aruka Obanello with a two-pointer.
It'll be interesting to see now with Conrad out what South does offensively.
Up top it goes.
And what North does offensively. Because they have no fear of driving to the basket because they know Conrad is there to help them out with the rebounding.
Natalie Burgess bounce pass. Samantha Canto out there with Lillian Brooks, number 5. Inside, stolen by Aruka Obanello.
There's the difference.
Motita Rana tried to get it to Victoria Bailey.
You've seen the difference now on both ends of the floor, what Conrad can make in this game.
Oh, Natalie Burgess was the intended receiver on that. In the corner, Bailey Carroll.
And look, it's not long. You know, Kirk Dutill's got to give her some breathers.
Yeah, it wasn't long, you're right.
No, because you also have to take the mask effect into effect. I mean, it's got to be tougher. They have to get a little bit more wind. Yes, exactly. So that's going to be a factor too.
Yeah.
That's why if I'm South, I want to run like crazy if I can.
Motita Rana heads up for somebody who might pick her pocket from behind.
Well, she could.
Lillian Brooks.
If she gets going from the outside, because she's got that ability.
Not giving her much space to work with, though, is Bailey Carroll.
Yeah, it's a good defense and a mismatch height-wise.
Inside, Lillian Brooks drives off the glass. No good. Victoria Conrad with the rebound gets fouled by Aruka. That's quite a battle between Aruka Obanello, number 23 in the white and purple numerals for South, against Victoria Conrad in the Carolina blue. Spins one up there and makes it. Victoria, who struggled at the foul line in the previous game, hits the very first free throw she takes here this afternoon.
It's been a busy day, a busy 24 hours in Nashua sports. Nashua has 2 diving champions, boys and girls. Nashua North and South, 1 each. And the North wrestling team today beat Wyndham 42-33 in what was one of the oddest things you'll see in sports, the forfeiture factor.
Morgan Gillis has it, but there was a whistle and a turnover by South before that.
as the bright sun. Can you imagine somebody taking a shot and saying the sun was in my eyes?
You know, could happen, right?
Could happen.
Yep. Sure, it happens in outdoor playground games in certain locations. Almost losing the handle there was Samantha Canto. Gets it to Motita Rana inside. Natalie Burgess with the put in. Good feed and the high point pass to get it to Natalie Burgess, and then the rest was easy. Nobody between her and the basket. Kicking it back, Aruka in the corner. There's Maya Ryu, left it short. Victoria Conrad snatches it
The only
above
outside
everybody.
shot hit by Nashua South right now has been Obanello from the top of the key, from the foul
right.
line.
It's 7-6, the visitors of Nashua North in the lead. Maya Ryu trying to save that steal, but it'll still be North basketball. Minute 25 remaining in the first quarter. North's got a slim 7-6 lead. The game every bit as close as the score indicates. Victoria Conrad holds on to it. Motita Rana swings it to Natalie Burgess. Elizabeth DeRusha guarding her. Up top, in the corner it goes. Motita Rana gets it to Victoria Conrad, and she lost the handle. Not giving any ground was Aruka Obanello as they banged bodies underneath. And Aruka gets her first rest of the game with a minute left in the first quarter. That'll piggyback onto the break between quarters, so she'll be rested for the second frame. Maya Ryu from downtown.
There it is.
Swish! That was a beautiful looking shot right out of her hand.
Kind of shot, yeah, you knew it right from the get-go that it was going to go in. Kind of shot you needed to hit for it if you're Nashua South.
That gives South the lead, 9-7. I believe it's their first lead of the game. They tied it a few times. The poke check steal by Maya Ryu. She gets sealed off baseline. The turnaround doesn't go. And Samantha Canto gets it back.
Actually, that wasn't their first lead. They're up 6-4.
Oh, they were up 6-4,
Yep.
You're right. So a seesaw battle here. Now it's South in the lead with 20 seconds to go. The Titans may have lost it out of, no, it was poked away by South. So tight defense being played by Jazray Escribano, number 10.
Just like that game last Saturday, nothing was easy, you know?
No.
There were no breakaways. There were no easy shots. There was nothing easy. You like that about these teams.
And a blocking foul against Elizabeth DeRusha. She was trying to pinch off the sideline there against Lillian Brooks. Made contact. 12.9 seconds to go. Lillian Brooks looking to inbound. North trailing by 2, could tie it up here. Victoria Conrad, though, threw it over the basket, and there's still 8 seconds left. The hesitation dribble. Morgan Gillis across the court.
Oh.
And the shot, Maya Ryu, it's deflected, and that will not make it to the basket. Lillian Brooks on the block there of the shot.
DeRusha should have taken the shot. She was open. She passed it up.
Yep. You trust your ability,
and she's got it.
She will probably shoot the next time she gets the ball. So 9-7, South, the home team, leads it by 2, and we are encouraged by the sheer
points
eruption of points that we've seen here in the first quarter after an historic low 19-16 final the last time these two teams met, which was about a week ago. I believe it was last Saturday we were here. We were not? Yep.
John, we've been over this already.
I'm impressed
we've been over this already. We were here last Saturday.
Yeah, we were.
Just remember that.
I forgot. So I'm impressed that North was able to win at Salem and break a 4-game losing streak.
I was just impressed with the 51 points.
And that too. So congratulations to North for getting back on the winning track, and let's see if South can come up with the upset here. South, of course, have had their struggles this season. Just ran into the Pinkerton juggernaut. Maya Ryu with it. In the corner, Ariana Murray around the edges it goes. Morgan Gillis found a little bit of a seam but lost the handle. Maya Ryu off a pick, Tried the pick and roll to get it back to Aruka. Baseline.
Yeah.
Up top it goes.
Ooh, almost had an opening.
Good scoop shot at 10.
One on two never works.
Yeah, Juliana Martin had been pinched off by a double team.
What a trap by South almost worked.
Down court comes Caitlin Lorendi. Kicks it outside. Lillian Brooks misses to the left. Rebound South. And this is Ariana Murray. She swings it down court. Maya Ryu underneath.
Got to take,
Yeah, good ball movement, and just...
Bonello's got to take that. She had the matchup. There's no Conrad in there. Take advantage of it.
Yeah,
she sets the pick.
The scoop shot is good.
And that's the other way you take advantage of no Conrad.
Take it to the basket. Ariana Murray gets two, and it's the biggest lead of the game so far for South. They're up 11-7 as Natalie Burgess dribbles through traffic. Bounce pass, Olivia Mazarol left it short. Rebound, Morgan Gillis. Down the left sideline she goes. Ariana Murray swings it to the top, around the edges.
See, this is where they should do, let's see. Nope.
Just left it short. Underneath, Maya Ryu gets fouled. Or did she lose it out of bounds? Let's see. She got fouled.
I think this is a situation where you need to post up Obanello. You don't have Conrad in there. You have that space. I don't want to be like a broken record, but look at the foul situation. North, that was their first foul of the game. Their first foul of the game, and we are into the second quarter.
Amazing.
So, get to the foul line, South. And the best way to do that is get the ball inside and put it up and see what can happen.
You have a chance here to go up by 6 or 7, depending on what type of basket they may be able to get. Aruka with the turnaround. She got blocked. It's a jump ball.
Well, she got double teamed is what she got. They double teamed her. That's North's strategy when Conrad is out, to use the double team.
Jump ball arrow favors North this time. And snatching it away, the steal by Aruka, but gives it right back. Olivia Mazarol steals it in turn. Caitlin Lorendi on the wing. Olivia Mazarol down deep. Gets blocked off at the pass. Underneath paint. Knocked away by Ariana Murray from Olivia Mazarol. That's a good matchup of power forwards underneath. Caitlin Lorendi thought about shooting, but she had a hand in her face. Motina Rana.
You almost got that matchup again underneath. They looked to try to post up Mazarol. They didn't do it.
Grace Carden got left alone for a second and put it up, but misses. And Aruka Obanello is going to have double-digit rebounds before this game is over.
Well, she usually does that every game. Nice turnaround play, but
Morgan
Gillis has the moves, John. Just needs a little bit more polish.
Yeah, she tried to use the glass, but left it short, and a foul is called on the block on Maya Ryu, I believe he's going to call it on.
This is North's quick team that's in here now. Not a ton of height, but a lot of quickness. South's going to have to deal with that. Great job by the Titans to get it down the floor fast. I mean, you get Lorendi very quick, Carden very, a lot of players here very quick.
It was actually number 15, Juliana Martin, that has a kickball. She got called for the foul on that. So Grace Carden's going to inbound it. Right in front of us. 5:15 to go in the half. North trailing by 4. Can cut it back to a one-score game. Olivia Mazarol with a nice floater in the paint.
She's got some basketball talent. I mean, it's in the genes, right?
Yep.
So.
Dad, Coach Nate, is here.
That was a big basket for North. They needed to get some points on the board. Hadn't scored in a while.
Ariana Murray with some nice dribbling.
Passes up the shot again.
Elizabeth DeRusha misses, and it's in the hands of Jazray Escorbano, but she couldn't get it to go. And we have a whistle underneath.
Yeah, I believe North.
Yeah, Elizabeth DeRusha will go to the line. Get her first chance at the free throw stripe in this game. 4:47 to go in the first half. And South can take a 3 or 4 point lead here if Elizabeth can hit her free throws.
Ooh,
in and out.
In and out. And now the holiday is over as Conrad comes back in the game. And South wasn't able to really take advantage of a lot of it.
No, they actually chose not to a few times.
Yeah, I don't understand some of that.
Olivia Mazarol gets up there to snatch that defensive board. Motina Rana, as She walks it up. Everybody gets set into their defensive positions. Victoria Conrad's looking for the ball underneath. She gets it.
Nowhere to go, though.
Aruka's got her
She
blocked off and misses the shot. Livia Mazerol very heads up to keep that from going out of bounds. And a swish. Great shot from the wing by Samantha Canto.
That's a big outside shot. North can really open things up if they can hit from the outside.
Samantha Canto looked like a shooter on that one.
No
It's
kidding.
tied at 11.
We haven't said her name very often in these two games.
Maybe she'll have the hot hand here.
Could be. Someone will get hot.
Aruka trying to drive, draws a double team, kicks it out. Jazray got stripped of the ball, but got it back. Aruka with a nice little set shot from the corner, but not able to get it to go. Grace Carden pushing the pace a little bit. Hesitation, found a seam and got fouled by Juliana Martin, and holding her shoulder. It was a hard foul.
They're all hard fouls when these two teams play.
Yeah. Timeout White. We have a timeout on the floor. At halftime, we'll be talking to Athletic Director Lisa Gingras about things. Gingras.
Yep.
About what's going on here and
Well, I mean,
the pandemic season number 2.
I think she'll be ecstatic to get through the winter with 3 more weeks to go, basically. You know, you the last week in February, and then you have the first 2 weeks, basically the first 2 weeks in March for tournaments. You know, and that's how it works out. So, you know, once you get through the winter and things start to get outside, March 29th will be the first day for spring practices. And there won't be extended. There won't be a lot of time. So, because they're going to start tennis, I think, around the 5th or 6th.
You guarantee me nice weather on March 29th?
Yeah, and then April 12th. I've done the first day of spring practice. They used, a couple of years ago, they used Stello Stadium for baseball and softball because the snow was cleared.
Yeah.
You know, and they did their workouts there.
Hey, nice article on the baseball coach for Riv Berardini.
Yeah, Louis been, you know.
Are we going to get to do any of their games?
Former day. Well, I'll have to wait and see.
Do they play? They play at Holman, right?
Ask the executive producer, Mr. Johnson.
I'd like that. That'd be, you know, I'm looking forward to.
You know, the problem that Riviera has, John, is they just don't. You can show a recruit Holman Stadium. The problem with that is you don't get to play there as much as you'd like.
And it's
you
the
know,
north.
because it's not ready until the middle of April. College season starts in mid-March. It actually starts now in Division I.
Yeah, true.
So
They're underway, yeah.
So they don't have a field on campus. Every other sport there, except for their new hockey programs, does. And that's a tough sell when you're out there recruiting, and that's what Louis Bernardini wants to overcome. But he does have the ability to use the Harvey Woods Field at Daniel Webster College. That's Riviera has maintained that for the last couple of years.
Interesting, but I did digress from basketball in the meantime.
Well, it's the sun, John. The sun's out, you know, that's why.
Exactly. North was down 11-7, Tom. They're up by 2 now with a chance to go up by 4 themselves if they score in this possession. Lillian Brooks off to the right. Aruka Obanello rebound. Maya Ryu kicks it out. On the sideline, Morgan Gillis to the middle. Aruka swings it over. Juliana Martin trying to drive. Aruka passed up the shot there, throw it off into the wing. Maya Ryu runs into the wall. Victoria Conrad
took an extra step. She got away with it, I think.
There's a clean block by Victoria Conrad, but Aruka gets it back.
Now see with Obanello, when she got it, she had a clear path to the basket, but didn't realize it.
Maybe fake the shot and go around Victoria?
No, Victoria had overextended to try to knock the ball away, and Obanello had that step.
I see. Morgan Bailey, and almost threw it away. Maya Rio just able to get fingers on it. Keep it in bounds. 2:18 to go, first half. South trying to tie it up again. And there's another block.
That's the fourth block.
That's the fourth block by Victoria Conrad today, and at least 3 on Aruka Obanello in the matchup underneath. It's got to be frustrating for Aruka. I would say that she wants to shoot it, It's got to be a quick release, catch and release with some space in between. There's a shot from a little bit of a distance. Might have been a three by Samantha Canto, not as accurate from that side of the court. A catch and release underneath, though, doesn't work for Bailey Carroll. Victoria Conrad rebound. I think she was a little worried about getting blocked by Victoria as well. She really got rid of it before she locked in on the basket visually. Lillian Brooks, the stop and pop. Aruka Obanello might have got a little bit of a hand on that one. And South pushing the pace now. Bailey Carroll, Lillian Brooks, I make that Morgan Gillis. And holding it for a second, Maya Ryu had some room there off a pick.
1:20 left to play in the half. Ooh.
Ruka did get it up and over Victoria that time, but I think it altered her
if Albanella could
shot.
develop that outside shot, she'd be almost a complete player that way, don't you think?
I do.
She'd be an 18-point-a-game scorer if she could do that.
There's just a fraction of a second that she needs to set up and get rid of it quicker before Victoria can take that step and block it.
Well, see, I think that's the other factor is maybe a couple of those outside shots are rushed because of the effect of 2 blocks, the last time she was down there. So
that's intimidating.
It sure is.
1:05 to go in the half.
But the thing is all right, the points again aren't that high. They're more than they were the other day, but it's competitive. That's the one thing about these two teams. The game will not get out of hand. It will be competitive all the way down the stretch. So the fourth quarter should be, every possession being critical if the play remains this way, unless someone opens it up from the outside. And I'll tell you the other thing that at halftime that these teams need to really try to see if they can develop.
Victoria Conrad gets it and puts it in. Uruka did everything she could to try to prevent it, but
There's no substitute for height.
No, it's a perfect high point pass. Maya Ryu trailing by 4. That would have cut it to 1. Uruka rips the ball away. Good offensive rebound and got fouled. North is not yet in the penalty. So South will inbound it. Maya Ryu for 3. Off to the left. Aruka gets it on the fly and got fouled by Victoria Conrad underneath.
It is an 8-0 run by Nashua North.
They were trailing 11-7. They are leading 15-11.
Very impressive run by the Titans.
And the Panthers have kind of gone cold shooting. 35 seconds only remains in the half. In rhythm, and it's in.
Wow, about that. Gillis, the freshman, launches it.
Morgan Gillis with a big basket. A 1-point game now. North up 15-14. That slips through the fingers of Victoria, but right there to receive it was Samantha Canto. She had it stolen away. Here comes Maya Ryu. 15, make that 12 seconds left.
Don't want to rush this. They're going to get it inside.
Good catch and release. Aruka and Victoria Conrad had not yet run the floor.
No.
And South made hay while the sun shined. 16-15, and that's how the half will end. So after that big run that North went on to take a 4-point lead, South catches fire late and will go to halftime with a 1-point lead, 16-15. It is anybody's basketball game going into the second half. I'm John Collins along with Tom King, our cameraman once again today, Tim O'Neill. We are streaming live on a Saturday, February 20 of 2021. And we are looking forward to Lisa Gingras joining us via that headset. Lisa, Tom was telling me about what a busy 24 hours it's been in Nashua sports. Apparently you have a couple of new diving champions.
Yes, we do. Last night, Sue May White from Nashua South.
Sue May White?
Sue May White from Nashua South is the Division I girls diving champion. She is actually a repeat. She won the event also last year. And Trevor Ryan from Nashua North is the boys Division I diving champion.
I didn't realize that we had that kind of diving talent in Nashua.
We do. We our coach has done a fantastic job, Samantha Goy, over the past few years, really just taking kids who are interested in the sport and really teaching them the game and moving them forward.
Beautiful. Where did they dive?
So they dove. They dived with our swim team over at the Boys and Girls Club during the regular season, but the state championship last night was held up in Lebanon.
Lebanon. Well, that's quite a drive.
It was a drive, and thankfully, they got up there yesterday in the snow and were able to come back safely.
In the snow, that's right. They didn't cancel it. All the stuff you got to deal with, and then you had the snow on top of it.
Exactly.
Unbelievable.
It's a little crazy.
And right now, the swimming championships are going on, right?
Yes.
At the Salem Workout Club, the way they're doing it, John, is like 3 teams at once will swim, get their times, and then another 3 teams will swim and get their times. Just because of the pandemic, they keep. They don't want that crowd of a ton of teams in.
Right. And it's very unusual this year because usually, at both the diving and the swim championship, there's spectators and all the athletic directors are there and things like that, but there's been no spectators whatsoever.
Right, none. So
it is being live streamed on the NFHS network. The NFHS network has the exclusive rights to all championship events. So that's the only place it's being broadcast right now.
So 3 weeks to go. You get your fingers crossed?
Fingers crossed.
For the winter?
Fingers crossed. Swimming and diving finished up this weekend. Indoor track, they finished their practice season, I guess. Who else has finished? Somebody else has finished. Skiing. Skiing is done. Yep.
Right.
Yep. We didn't have the interest due to COVID this year with gymnastics, so they would have been done, but we didn't have teams at either schools this year.
Wrestling's still going on?
Yeah,
wrestling is going on. We had a very exciting dual match tournament today. North beat Wyndham to move on, so they are in the Final Four. They'll compete in the semifinals on Wednesday.
Nice. What were you talking about? There was some kind of forfeiture?
Well, the thing with dual meets is if you don't have wrestlers at certain weight classes, you have to and the other team does, you have to forfeit that match and give them points. Today, North wrestled, their wrestlers were very competitive. They won 2 matches, but they got a lot of their points on forfeits. And it's part of the strategy. You line up certain kids for certain weights and everything else.
Sure.
And I talked to Chad Zabolis, the North coach, at the end of it. That's the one thing I got to say, Lisa. You've got to be thrilled with the job he's done at Nashua North.
Absolutely.
He has just turned that program around. I mean, he said, and I asked him, okay, what are you going to do next year? Because you got a lot of your football guys that are going to graduate.
Right.
He goes, I'm going to go to soccer. I'm going to go to cross country. Once they're done with their fall seasons, hey, come on and wrestle for me. I mean, who wouldn't want to? I mean, he's that kind of coach.
Yes, he really is. They've done a fantastic job going. I think this is his 3rd year now. The year prior to that, there were only 6 or 7 wrestlers in the entire program, and last year they brought 7 wrestlers to the Meet of Champions.
Right.
And this year I think it's absolutely fantastic. We're not having an individual divisional tournament or the Meet of Champions, but they put in this team tournament, much like a basketball tournament or a hockey tournament. And personally, I think it should stay. It's fantastic for all 14 weight classes to have the opportunity to get out there and compete today.
So we are nearing the end of the winter season, and hopefully next year we'll be able to do the holiday tournament again. We missed that, the whole thing, the hockey and the basketball.
We did, but to be very honest with you, the Chick-fil-A tournament wasn't going to happen this year anyway.
Okay.
It was not going to happen because...
Not pandemic related?
Nope, it wasn't pandemic related. The basketball season was condensed. Yep. There's been a big push over the past several years to finish basketball and hockey in as many sports as we can prior to the students' February vacation. So the regular season was scheduled to end like February 6th, February 8th, and then playoffs were going to take place. And originally this weekend would have been championship basketball weekend.
Is that right? And that's the way they'll return to that likely next year, do you think?
I do believe. I believe those are currently the bylaws, the dates that are in there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I didn't know that.
So over Christmas vacation, we were actually going to play regular season games for
Oh,
both the boys and the girls.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's a long-standing tournament. That's a big change.
Yeah, Nate's in favor of it over here. Yes, he's got the thumbs up. Lisa, what should we expect for the spring? Will it be the same setup with the scheduling cohorts and everything else? I mean, it's worked very well.
It has.
All in the fall and in the winter, and I would imagine that's what you want to do with the other sports.
It is. We'll definitely look to continue that for the spring. This winter, for the most part, we did the cohorting with wrestling and basketball, but hockey we also put in a little a little piece of the competitiveness in there.
Hockey's different, right.
Hockey, there's no sense getting beat 10-0 every game just because that's your cohort.
Right.
So for baseball, softball, tennis, track, we're going to stay within our cohorts as well. But we're looking into lacrosse, also adding a little bit of that competitiveness.
Yep, okay.
Again, there's no sense two teams playing each other and somebody winning 20-0.
Right.
That doesn't help either team.
Will it be the same deal in terms of open tournaments when you get into the spring? And how long do you envision? You're starting on schedule theoretically, for the seasons. I mean, tennis that first week in April, and then April 12th, you said, is going to be baseball, softball, I believe?
Actually, everything's been delayed. Practices has been delayed by 1 week at the high school level.
Right, March 29th?
March 29th,
right.
And then no competitions will start until April 12th.
Right.
So tennis won't
start right
until
away.
the 12th.
Okay.
Exactly. So for the most part, we're trying to get in a full season. We're looking probably baseball, softball, lacrosse, getting in 16 games. If we can schedule that. But it will be an open tournament. Anybody who wants in is in. Each committee will determine exactly, how they match up the pairings and the brackets, whether it'll be random or if it'll be some sort of placement.
Sure.
Things like that. We're hoping to be able to get outside as soon as possible. It's not looking that way right now with all the snow that's outside.
That's why you plow Stellos, right?
Exactly.
That worked a couple of years ago. It worked great. Yeah.
Bob's been doing a great job all winter being out there. Every time it snows, he's out there plowing because you can't remove it all at once.
Right.
So each storm, he's out there and he's taking care of that. So hopefully we can get out there sooner rather than later. And, same with our tennis courts. It's the baseball and softball fields with the clay that's the worst.
Lisa, do you anticipate in terms of fan participation the same, restrictions, and maybe, it's ranged anywhere from between fall and winter from 2 to 4 per participant?
Yep, so in Nashua, we've been very consistent that it's been only 2 per home participant for every one of our sports, both fall and winter. We got a little bit of leeway in the fall tournaments that if North, South, or BG played each other, we could have some fans from the opposite team. And we're hoping to get that approval also for winter before we get into the basketball season. But I'm anticipating it'll still be the restrictions on our spectators and things like that going into spring. I think it's really important, even though people are getting their vaccinations and numbers are coming down, the virus is still out there. It's still spreading.
It's going to be. You have to continue for the next 4 to 6 months, I think, the way we're doing it now. Otherwise, it's just not going to do any good.
Right.
The other question I have is, do you have to formally go before the Board of Ed as you did for the winter and fall, and when would you do that?
I will be on the agenda on March 8th.
Okay.
So I actually am meeting with members from public health this week, and then going before the board on March 8th. Hopefully it'll go through. I'm hoping they've seen the success with our basketball and hockey and wrestling and all of our winter sports, that all our spring sports are outside. So I'm hoping that's going to be the tipping point to give us that green light.
Nothing like the great outdoors.
You got it. You got it.
Thank you for being our halftime guest, Lisa.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Good information.
Great.
Lisa Gingras getting us through the pandemic with our sports still happening, and that's a big bonus and enjoyment that we have. John Collins with Tom King, Nashua ETV, streaming this Saturday, February 20 game between South and North girls basketball. North won a week ago by 3 points. They are trailing by 1 here to begin the second half. South is playing much better basketball.
Conrad had Obanello posted up. That height matchup, she's got to take that shot every time.
Down court come the Panthers. Ariana Murray hands it off to Morgan Gillis. Now it's Juliana Martin. She hands it off to Maya Ryu, Aruka Obanello. Everybody, all 5 Panthers have touched the ball in this possession. Outside the arc, Ariana Murray finds Obanello in there, and Victoria Conrad closes, blocks it. Good catch and release by Maya Ryu, but just a little long on the shot. A bobble by Caitlin Lorendi. Ryu steals, drives, kicks it out. Aruka left it short. Ball gets tipped all the way to the sideline where Olivia Mazerol saves it. Grace Carden with a head of steam. Gets double teamed, but finds an opening to put it up. Misses. Morgan Gillis, the talented freshman for South, has it. She hands it off to Maya Ryu. Inside, Aruka circling. Kicks it outside. The shot is short. Morgan Gillis thought she might be able to sneak one up there over the defender, Caitlin Lorendi, but I believe it did not hit the rim. Carden outside, Caitlin Lorendi has it. Looking for our first points of the second half. Both teams have had their chances. The shots have not yet fallen. Grace Carden whips it inside Olivia Masrell. That's good ball movement by North. Produces a basket. And South's coach, John Bourgeois, wants a timeout to talk about not letting that happen again.
No kidding. You can't let those easy hoops happen.
Olivia Masrell got nice positioning and got the assist from outside. I believe it was Grace Carden, and it's a North lead. We're on the seesaw now, 17-16. North.
John, one of the things that I think both coaches would love to be able to see their teams do, and they haven't been able to quite get there, is get that defensive pressure to where they can get the easy baskets in transition. You know what team I'm comparing that to. It's what makes BG so successful.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, I saw Merrimack do a little bit of that last night against BG. If you're able to do that defensively and get those turnovers and get those easy layups, it takes so much pressure off the other parts of your game.
So true. I got to say that element is just missing.
And it's a big factor in successful girls basketball teams all around historically. It's what the Nashua teams were built on when John Fagula coached.
Right. Okay. So I mean that's you said how Brad Crick takes a lot of his.
He takes this huge page from the Fagula notebook. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
And they score a ton of points, just like you
said.
Just
in transition.
Yeah. That tight D.
Just
all
in
of a sudden,
transition. Example last night. They're up 28-20 on Merrimack. It's a tight second quarter.
Not
happy with it because they were up by 12 or 13 in the first quarter. So they come out in the second half, a couple of turnovers and easy layups, and they're back up in double figures, and it stayed that way the rest of the game. That's the effect. And look at that. There's the Conrad effect right there.
Victoria Conrad, if she gets hot, South could be in trouble.
Yeah, they don't have an answer right now for her, and they don't take advantage of the fact of the time when she's out of the game.
19-16, South trails by 3 suddenly. Outside, Morgan Gillis, good job of floating it before it got blocked, but South fans wanted a foul, but I actually think it was a good non-call.
I think it was a great non-call.
Morgan Gillis steals it away.
She's got to call time there, but she got it away, so that's good.
She was able to find Ariana Murray.
So right now we're on a 4-0 North run.
Juliana Martin swings it. Aruka Obanella has a chance to shoot it. She will. And just long on the shot, and Victoria Conrad, who gets so many rebounds right underneath the basket, got the benefit of a long bounce.
You know what has to happen there, and I'll tell you next time they stop.
Caitlin Lorendi misses long right. Down court comes Ariana Murray.
Oh, no, see, here,
Swish! Juliana Martin with a beautiful shot from downtown. We're tied at 19.
19.
Some scoring in this one. We've seen both teams now achieve the 19-point level. The 19-16 low-scoring final was a week ago. We're going to go way past that today. Juliana Martin across to Ariana Murray. The shot from downtown, that goes through. Morgan Gillis.
Gillis and Martin back-to-back.
Sounds like a vaudeville act. Oh, there's a kick. Out of bounds.
But what did we tell you? We told you the outside game would pretty much dictate if one team got hot from the outside, and now all of a sudden Nashua North is up by 3. And Nashua South is up by 3.
Correct, the home team. Nice shot by Morgan Gillis. Olivia Mazarol pushing the pace down the sideline.
6-0 run with those 2 threes.
Olivia and Jazray Escribano.
But see, what has to happen for
shoulders.
South? What has to happen for South is, okay, Obanella is now cold from the outside. She gets the ball outside. She takes Conrad out there. So what Obanella has to do is find a cutter. Someone's got to cut to the basket where the opening is inside, and that way they can get the easy basket with Conrad pulled out.
Natalie Burgess bangs her way backwards and
Yeah,
puts
that's
it
a
up
big
and in.
answer. They needed to convert on that possession. They really did.
Victoria Conrad and Aruka Obanello are resting momentarily, not on the floor. Make that 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. DeRusha passes it back. There's an air ball, trying to save it. Nice job by Vanessa Reeder, number 20. And keeping the rebound alive, Ariana Murray puts it up, can't get it to go. Motita Rana with the loose ball rebound. Almost has her pocket picked by Jasmine Escribano.
And there
it
we
is
go.
a jump ball.
There's that intensity on the floor.
Reminiscent of the Biddy basketball intensity that you referenced earlier.
Tackle the ball carrier.
South with that 1 point lead.
It's like a winning Powerball ticket, you know?
Gotta get it.
Gotta grab it.
It's in the wind. In the corner, Elizabeth DeRusha in rhythm. No. Olivia Mazerol snatches the long ball rebound off the back rim. Motita Rana bounced it off her foot. Jasmine Escribano with a bit of a break here. A collision. And Grace Carden almost ended up in the equipment over here.
A collision, it should have been called a foul.
Really?
Don't know why it wasn't.
Absolutely great.
There was no doubt about it. I mean, she banged right into her.
Yeah, that's got to be called, Tom.
It's got to be called. You've got to call that. And the problem is the refs were trailing the play.
Yeah. And putting it over the rim and in, Juliana Martin.
Martin, the senior, John. She's the go-to. There's no question about it that if they win this game, Martin's the one who's got to carry them through it.
Natalie Burgess might have double dribbled there and got away with it. It seemed to bounce around in her legs before she picked it up. And out of bounds off of South. I guess she hadn't controlled the dribble when she was trying to
full court pressure again going on. Obanello was going to come into the game. Now she does. Conrad now, okay, if Obanello's in, I got to go in. So that's how it works.
Yep. They're out there and matched up once again.
Full court pressure. Everybody's got a man.
Inbounds.
And it works.
And there's a foul call. Samantha Canto is trying to get the ball to Natalie Burgess.
In my mind,
might have been
a late whistle, don't you think?
Yep.
I thought that ball was stripped out pretty cleanly, but I don't know. I'd have to see it again.
Natalie Burgess trying to get rid of it rather than dribble out of traffic. Grace Carden and Jasmine Escribano just colliding. And finally, travel.
Yeah, what Martin did was she came over and said, okay, you got nowhere to go. What are you going to do with it? And the momentum carried through. But there's some pushing and shoving going on around away from the ball.
Well, you know, if you don't call a lot of fouls, it's just going to escalate.
Well, the team in teal does not have a foul yet.
That's amazing. And it's not because they're playing soft.
No.
There's a nice shot. Maya Ryu just as casual as you please.
And now it's the biggest lead for anybody in this game.
That is correct. 5 points, 26-21. South is up on their home court with just over a minute and a half remaining. Natalie Burgess bounced it off her foot and out of bounds, and it's South ball trying to add to their 5-point lead. Basketball, a game of momentum swings, and right now it's in favor of the Panthers.
Well, right now they are on a 10, if my math is right, they're on a 10-2 run.
Maya Ryu contributing to that. She's a threat to put it up right there. Aruka for three. Swish! And we have
Obanello!
an 8-point lead.
Where was that earlier? That's a big shot.
Put that up with some confidence. 29-21, and now pressure's on North to score.
John, you might want to turn Lisa Jingers's that headset. You might want to turn that off.
North does answer back. Yes, mic number 3 turned down.
Turn it off.
Yeah.
Boom.
Out of bounds.
I'd love to get some trade secrets, but we got to do it fair, you know?
Yeah. I got my first touch.
55 seconds to play here. Third quarter, 29-24 in favor of South.
Maya Ryu in rhythm. Oh, nice looking shot. Lillian Brooks did a nice job to get her hand on that and bat it to Olivia Mazarol. 44 seconds to go. Grace Carden into Olivia Mazarol, and she traveled. She couldn't believe that she was so open.
Yes, she couldn't make up her mind whether she wanted to shoot it right away or drive.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think what she saw was she saw Obanello there. She said, I better shoot it, but it was too late.
Right.
Oh, nice steal.
Lillian Brooks ahead of the field.
Yeah, Brooks is very good at that.
Left it short, though, and able to save it, Juliana Martin.
That's a tough non-convert for Nashua North.
Morgan Gillis.
And another steal.
Lillian Brooks.
That's a freshman pass right there.
Yeah. She wanted to take better care of the basketball than that.
There was no
10
reason,
seconds.
There was no reason to rush the play.
And Grace Carden tried to draw the foul, but they are reluctant to call fouls in this
They
game.
do not want to call fouls. And
out of bounds off of the Panthers.
You watch the last quarter. It could be a foul shooting contest. Who knows? But but North's got a long way to go. They don't have any fouls. So I'll tell you at the end of the quarter how that factors in.
Open.
Oh, wide open.
Grace Carden
Bang.
hits it. She needed that, and so did the Titans. It's a one-score game again as we go to quarter number 4. So South had opened up a 5-point lead, back down to 2.
They had opened up an 8-point lead.
8-point lead, that's right, 29-21.
And it's down to 2 with 2 straight three. Who hit that first three for North that stopped the bleeding? That's a basket I missed.
Was a 3-pointer, huh?
Yeah, they've had 2 straight threes. So 6-0 Titan run, and it's 29-27 South. But here's the factor. If North falls behind, say it was an 8-point game and then they got into the fourth quarter and you get down to maybe 3 minutes, 2 minutes left in the game and you're down 8, that big goose egg with fouls doesn't help you. You've got to have, you won't be able to foul and get South to the line. You don't have any fouls. You have too many fouls to give.
Yeah, you'll just be.
So if North trails late and it's still a very low number, that will hurt them.
So if you're the coach, if you're Kirk Dutilli, you tell him, hey, play super aggressive, right?
I would say play aggressive defensively.
Play super aggressive defensively.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to help you one way or the other.
Exactly. Either right away with a steal or 2, or later in the game when you need to put South at the line, if necessary. Ariana Murray, bounce pass to Juliana Martin. She hands it off. Morgan Gillis going baseline, found some room. Got a little bit intimidated, though, by Victoria Conrad. Absorbed the contact, went the other direction onto the floor, but will go to the line as she was in the act of shooting when she was fouled. So it'll be 2 shots for Morgan at the line. Trying to give South a 3-point lead here, and she does. South is first to 30 in this game. They have just about doubled up their point total from a week ago. That one's short. Rebound. Samantha Canto, and she traveled. Her pivot foot slid on the hardwood. The official trailing saw that, and South has another chance to score on this same trip down the floor. Olivia Mazarol trying to poke it away from Ariana Murray. She gets it over to Maya Ryu. Maya Ryu to her left, to her right. Aruka looking for the pass. Maybe can help Maya out. Morgan Gillis, will she shoot it from there, or she'll have Samantha Canto in her face? Maya Ryu off the pick by Aruka, switching off. Conrad cuts her off at the pass, and so no easy basket there. The floater, Morgan Gillis high off the glass. Victoria Conrad just a presence in the middle. There's a foul.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to out-rebound her
No.
when you have position on her. Gillis from behind.
Yeah.
And there's another South foul.
That shot was somewhere around the foul line, and yet Victoria almost got her hand on it, stepping forward. Batted away, out of bounds, off of North. Maya Ryu producing the turnover with that good anticipation. In rhythm, open,
Martin.
swish.
Telling
Juliana
you,
Martin.
Money.
So a
Games
5-point
against
South
North.
lead.
Games against North bring out the best in her.
Still a lot of basketball to be played. North finally has their first foul on the board. South, meanwhile, has 9.
A lot to be played, but...
Is that 5?
That's
That's
a 5.
I'm sorry.
That's 5.
Yeah.
If it was 9, North would have been at the line a few
Exactly.
times.
Right then, they would have been.
Yeah, it's gonna. We may get close to that,
Yeah,
John.
that's 6. Blocking foul. Of course, North needs to do some of that too now. We were talking about the strategy of not having so few fouls that you can't put the team at the line when you need to put them there to slow the game down. Grace Carden up top. Lillian Brooks trying to keep her pivot foot still. Conrad to the basket, strong. Can't get it to fall though. And Aruka Obanello with the rebound. Maya Ryu with it. The trailer, Aruka Obanello, the shot from the top of the key.
Bang.
Big basket by Aruka. And that is another 8-point lead for the Panthers. Trying to make life difficult for North coming out of their own end. They do get it up court. Lillian Brooks with some space. Olivia Mazerel underneath. The hook shot no good. Maya Ryu saves it. Nice play, Maya. She gets the return pass from Juliana Martin. On the wing, Morgan Gillis with some space. Steps back, elects not to shoot. They swing it all the way around. Maya Ryu with Grace Carden guarding her. Off the pick by Aruka and got fouled. So that's 2 fouls now against North.
Now you better start fouling some people.
Yeah.
Get that number up a little bit if you can. Conrad coming off the floor. Now again, let's see what South does. You know?
Jazz in the corner, that was Jazrae Escorbano.
Well, if that went, that would have been really tough.
That would have been tough for North to come back. And what do we have a blocking foul against
she nudged her.
Jazrae.
Yeah, she nudged her a little bit. Little bit of shoulder action there.
Elizabeth DeRusha will come in.
But see, okay, you've got Conrad off the floor if you're North, right? What do? You run. You run. You get your quick team in there. Use your quickness.
Grace Carden free throw. Hits it 1-and-1.
That's the advantage North has, is they are in the penalty.
Yep. Every foul now they go to the line. And Grace Carden makes the most of her free throws.
Yeah, South's got to be careful. They don't want North to be able to get back in the game, via the foul shot.
DeRusha thought about shooting it outside. Jazrae had it poked away, gets it back. Up top it goes. Juliana Martin on the wing. Aruka Obanello has had a hot hand from outside this game. Elizabeth DeRusha, she can shoot it from distance, but she's not getting any space. Inside, Aruka to the basket. No.
That's the right way to go, though.
Yep.
Conrad out.
Natalie Burgess with the tight defense.
Well, Burgess is doing a good job with, you've got to credit her because she has made. Oh, there's a clear pass. Oh, doesn't take it.
Well, the
there
left
it is
hand.
Again. Now the ball's starting. Now the lid is on the basket for North. They've had 2 great inside shots.
Yep. 6-point lead for South. Chance to add to it.
Again, look at that foul number 2. They have 4 more fouls to give.
Oh, on cue, Tom. That's a foul against Natalie Burgess as the ball comes this way.
Notice I stayed seated.
Yeah. Inbound play. DeRusha. Escorbano shoots for 3. Misses long.
Don't need that shot.
Olivia Mazerol rebound. Grace Carden. North trailing by 6. Can they get back into this one with 4:20 to go?
That's a good defensive play.
Yep. The jump ball arrow favors North for the moment, and they get to retain possession.
Now you got Murray and Gillis back in the game. You got Martin out there, DeRusha, Obanello for North. You don't have Conrad, but you got your go-tos in Mazerol, Carden.
Juliana Martin steals it. The inbound pass.
Big play.
Oh, that's a tough pass.
John, it's all yours.
I was wondering
John,
if it would.
you knock it away, you know.
I know not put my hand between a ball
It's a good
and a
thing
table.
my laptop wasn't there. I would have, that would have been bad. It's coming right to you.
Yeah. Inside. That's actually not inside. It's defensive end. Up top, Burgess. Julian Martin closed fast.
Double team inside.
Olivia Masro looking for somebody to pass to, and there's nobody. Elizabeth DeRusha has
It's the Martin double team that causes that effect when she comes over and doubles up with Obanello on whoever's down low.
Elizabeth DeRusha. Morgan Gillis has it. Caitlin Lorendi guarding her. Time's becoming a factor for North now. Trailing by 6. Aruka Obanello off the glass and in. Big basket. Yep. It's an 8-point lead. 3.5 minutes to go.
Finally, they get it inside to her with Conrad out, and she first beats Burgess. First time.
Olivia Masro, long pass. Right at the feet, though, of Grace Carden. She did a good job to collect it and shoot it.
And again, the lid now all of a sudden seems to be on the basket. But now, John, is the factor. 3 fouls. That's the factor we're looking at right now because we're getting down to almost under 3 minutes to play.
Yeah, I mean...
And you still have 4 fouls you have to give. And there's another one.
Every offensive possession's a chance for North to commit a foul, but instead they leave an open shot. Morgan Gillis, and it's a 10-point lead for South as it gets late here in the fourth quarter. Scoop shot by Carden, that doesn't go, but she will go to the line.
Surprisingly enough, Kurt Dutilli hasn't called timeout. I'm surprised that there hasn't been a timeout. Not second guessing, just surprised that there hasn't been a timeout to try to stem the tide a little bit.
Yeah,
but you've got a player at the foul line, so that helps.
Right, here's Grace Carden for a pair. Still a 10-point game. What a difference a week makes. South struggling last week to get to 20. Nobody did, but they only had 16 points, and they got 39 in this one.
Still, if you talk to Coach Achille, he can't be happy after scoring 51 points 2 nights ago, 2 nights ago, and now he's at 30.
Yep. Maya Ryu with
it.
Now
you just kind of pull it out. Don't take the outside shot. Don't bounce past it either.
Olivia Masro got a hand on it, but not able to complete the steal.
Now you've got to kill clock. Kill clock. And what North should be doing now, they should be fouling.
They should be fouling. They should be grabbing at the ball.
They shouldn't be doing anything. Just foul.
You have permission to foul.
Yes, exactly. Just don't do it flagrantly. But they're not going to do it.
No. I don't know if they're aware of that strategy.
I'm sure Kurt Dutilli is.
You wouldn't have to tell me twice to foul.
Yeah, no kidding. What do we got there? Timeout. Timeout by South with 2 minutes to play, almost like a 2-minute warning.
Yes, it is. Clock's frozen at 2 minutes with the fourth quarter about to play out. South enjoying a 9-point lead for the moment here. Saturday afternoon basketball. How'd those photos come out with the daylight streaming in?
Yeah, they were all right. It wasn't as big of a factor, but I'll take a look when I get out of here. Wrestling and basketball to go through.
A lot of stuff.
Oh boy. I mean, once those tournaments start, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's going to be a 7-day-a-week thing because the girls and the boys are on opposite nights.
Oh, right.
And they go, and they're not taking Sundays off.
Tom's busy season.
That'll be our busy season here too for ETV, I would imagine. Through these cohort games, I'm sure there'll be a plethora of games to do. And
just the boys basketball, let's see, play-in round, if needed, will be Monday, March 1. The preliminary round.
That's not if needed. It's somebody's playing in that.
Okay. Preliminary round will be Thursday, March 4. Quarterfinals, Saturday, March 6. Semifinals, Wednesday, March 10. And the final, Saturday, March 13. And as Tom said, girls playing on different nights, starting March 2nd. March 5, March 7, March 11, and the final will be Sunday, March 14th.
That's just basketball. We haven't talked about hockey.
That's just basketball.
The hockey hasn't come out with their thing yet. I think they might be seeding getting more credence to records. I'm not sure.
And outside it goes. South with a 9-point lead. No rush really to shoot, and there's a foul. North now committed 4, but still South basketball.
Well, I'm sure during that timeout, Kurt Dutilli said we got to get him to the line.
Yeah, but it's come back to haunt them, Tom. The foul situation.
Oh, basically it looks that way, doesn't it?
More times coming off the clock.
Yep.
Instead of shooting free throws and maybe getting the ball back.
Smart play. Oh, nice give and go.
Underneath. Ariana Murray ran out of room and got triple teamed. Steal by North. Olivia Mazarol.
That's when you call timeout.
Yeah, that's right. Outside it goes. Grace Carden.
Got to shoot it. Can't waste time.
They're trailing by 9.
There
Olivia
it is.
Mazarol and then a timeout North. So they will talk some strategy, or was it South timeout?
No, that was, I believe that was North's.
Okay.
109 to play.
Down by 7. And they only have committed 4 fouls. So if they want to stop the clock via fouls, they got to commit like 3 of them right in a row.
Yeah, no kidding.
In a minute. Left it go too late on that. You saw that coming. What's our next game? Do we know?
We've got 2 boys games, I believe, next week. One at Girton and one at North. It'll be Girton South.
Oh, you
boys,
reminded me. Bishop Girton boys, they're on a roll this season, huh? And also the North boys are doing pretty good.
Well, see, there's the collision course. All right, there's what you think could happen. And at some point, I have to look at the bracket at the way that it works out. But at some point, Girton and North could play each other in that regional final.
Trying to come out of there.
Yeah, exactly.
Pod.
One of them is going to. One good team out of Nashua is not going to make it to the semis, and it's going to be either North or Girton, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Don't discount Alvin.
No,
Marty
they're
Edwards,
in the mix.
Marty
Alvin,
Edwards,
Keynes.
Yeah, Marty Edwards'
South.
team will always give you a hard game. South too.
Yeah, I think Caitlin needs to foul here. She does.
Yeah. But I believe the regular season boys basketball game of the year locally will be North and Girton next Friday night.
Looking forward to that.
And that'll be, I think that's at North.
Trying to get loose
Underneath.
underneath.
She's got Burgess on her. Nice double team.
Scoop shot blind from
no reason
reverse.
to do it.
No. Much better off
But
to
again,
just dribble.
what did you not see? You didn't see North foul anybody.
No.
They didn't seem to want to do it.
Yep. Lillian Brooks, Natalie Burgess, 43 seconds left. North trailing by 7 and out of bounds off of North, I think. That's going to be South basketball. Yep, piece
great
of,
hustle
I think.
by Ariana Murray.
Yep. And that is a big turnover because North needs points and they don't have much time left, just 39 seconds.
Murray.
In rhythm, that's going to do it.
Yep.
That's a dagger right there.
Yeah.
Juliana Martin got open for an easy 10-footer. A steal, South. North steals it back. Livia Mazarol playing so hard to the finish. Caitlin Lorendi driving off the glass and in. North gets a basket. They call timeout. They are still trailing by 7, however, with only 18 seconds to go. So maybe too little too late for the Titans.
Unless you can get a quick basket or two, you steal and a three-pointer, but that still only brings it to 4.
Yeah, they got to foul twice if they want to get somebody to the line for South and maybe hope they miss a free throw. But
is that 18.4? 18.4, right?
Yep, 18.4. So, fourth quarter, talking strategy on the sidelines right now.
Well, it'll be interesting if you're North. Obviously, you got to foul right away. I mean, you can't waste any time. You got to foul immediately.
I'm just happy it stopped snowing.
I'm telling
Snowing.
you. Well, you know
like
what? The afternoon was good until all of a sudden you realize that once the sun, got lower and it wouldn't heat up the pavement, then all of a sudden all that snow was starting to stick, and it made for
very slippery driving.
Were you working last night?
I was driving to work last night, and I was amazed about how slippery it was for a 4-inch
And
snowstorm.
it must have been a busy night at work because of the calls, right? It had to
Actually,
be.
in
No?
Hudson,
Really?
people stayed home.
Wow, good for
They
them.
were smart about it.
Good
Yeah.
for them because it was a
Minimal.
crawl,
Just a couple cars off the road, nothing major.
I crawled going back
Yeah.
from Bishop Girton, but
You had to,
yeah, no doubt about it. And the thing is the timing of the time when it started to stick. Everybody who was had made the determination to already play they weren't going to go back. There was no turning back.
How about that drive? The divers must have had to Lebanon, huh?
It had to be bad, but wasn't up north supposed to be the lesser?
Oh, maybe.
Effect?
10 seconds to go. South steals
they
it.
They can't get him to foul. Now, he finally fouled. Yep.
7 seconds to go. North really didn't get a shot away.
And that's the team foul, but 7.2 seconds, John. Should have been maybe 2 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
They really.
So the intra-city rivals trading wins here. First it was North last week on top, and it looks like South is going to cement a victory here as they shoot free throws. 7 seconds to go. 5 seconds.
Well, how
Jump ball.
about that? Still battling for the ball, up 7 with 3.8 to play.
3.8. Yeah.
That is just hustled, times 10. Both teams.
It's true. Playing hard to the finish. We call this like a scrimmage game because everybody makes the playoffs, but they played to win, both teams.
There's no scrimmage game here.
Max intensity.
Yep.
So a 41-34 win for South on their home court. Saturday afternoon basketball here on Nashua TV. For Tom King and my cameraman Tim O'Neill and executive producer Pete Johnson, I'm John Collins. Thanking you for watching. A 7-point victory for South over North this afternoon as we move along toward the playoffs in March. Good afternoon from Nashua High South, everybody.